we've seen a lot in the news and with improv theaters shutting down about the lack of inclusivity in improv. And actually, part of a lot of the film was making me very sad to see some of the places that have now closed due to the pandemic, like Second City, and Kelly Leonard's gone. And I don't know if IO probably closed. I guess IO did close, but so it's kind of sad to me, although what we have online is improv schools burgeoning up. Would anybody that's on the cast that maybe is a teacher care to talk a little bit about this idea of making changes? Because also we're so flexible as people. I think improvisers are more resilient than anybody else. Does anybody have any comments as a teacher or anybody else feeling that kind of sadness about what's gone on? And just raise your hand or let me know you want to speak. Oh, we're gonna sing it, I guess.
Nancy has her hand up.
Well,
Nancy,
indeed,
please.
yeah, I guess it's true that it's a little sad, but as you say, Margot, adaptable we are, you know. Here at McMaster University area, we also continue to conduct a social anxiety trial. And when the pandemic hit, the participants in that trial missed it. And so quickly, they were instrumental in getting a virtual weekly online improv workshop going, and they named it not attention deficit disorder, but connection deficit disorder. And every Friday at 4 p.m. that continues. And how much would we love? We have had some of the individuals here tonight on that, and I think it's just important because while there are some really great improv exercises that thankfully translate well online, and it saddens me for sure, but we have a setback is a setup for a comeback, and I don't believe for a minute that we have heard the last of Second City and other institutions. They'll be back.
Exactly. And when I do my interviews, I interview people in Africa and India and China and all over the world and take classes with those people. So that's one of the real benefits now, is that we can study and get to know friends all over the world, which is really beautiful. Now, Jack Johnston has a question, and he says, many people my age are so involved with social media, and in many ways it is the exact opposite of improv. Everything is so calculated behind the phone screen. My question is, how do I encourage people in my everyday life to have the yes and mentality? How do I encourage everybody? Because I don't know if anybody else here, but my family's been divided for what, 4 years now? How do we use that tool? Anybody got their hand raised? Yeah. Is that Greg?
Hey, yeah. My family's pretty divided too, and there was like a giant email thread, political thread, around the election time, and I always thought, like, it actually is sort of like an improv scene. It's like, I can't actually control what you say, right? Like, what's coming at me. All I can do is control what I say, and so leading by example, I think, is the first thing to do, to even when sometimes it feels really hard. But to yes and or at least listen, and really listen. That's
I absolutely agree with you. And I made a note. I'm looking at my notes. Sorry, they're all over the place. Barbara's in the room still? Barbara's here? Yes?
I'm not sure that she is. I think she may have left.
Oh, she had to leave?
I believe so.
Okay. Well, I'm going to open this up to anybody that's, from the film, because we're kind of talking to these people, and but anybody can join in, really. What am I saying that for? The word spiritual was used, and I love that. I'm a psychotherapist, social worker, and I really believe in the concept of spirituality versus religion. Religion is organized and has the dogma, whereas spiritual is just about being kind and genuine and passing on goodwill to people. And I think it's really a very spiritual practice. And I know mindful has kind of become an overused cliche today, but mindfulness has been around for thousands of years, actually. So I wonder if anybody would like to maybe address the spiritual aspect of improv. Just raise your hand or start talking.
I'll go ahead and start talking. I don't know if you
Thank
can
you,
hear
Kristen.
me.
Yes.
But, I don't know that I'm going to say, I don't have like a well thought out thing to say right here, but some thoughts are that so Sean's film is all about how improv can be used to change the world for the better. And so it's all about spirituality, really. And even in my own life, I'm very focused on how I have to do what I have to do to make a living and what I can do that, fills my brain and fills my need to make the world a better place. And they're not always compatible. They're definitely merging. But so to piggyback off of Nancy Watt's comment that, yes, we're all going to continue to forge ahead, but ultimately it's, who's going to survive is who lives out their values and is able to adapt their values to be productive in the world. So it's not for everybody, and some of us are going to fail, but it's ultimately going to depend on grit in the middle of a pandemic. So let's see what happens. And I think when there's a certain amount of value and benefit to not being super successful, because you're not able to cover up, all of your bad behaviors, whether it be racism or sexism or, whatever bad behavior. You can't cover that up because you're famous. We all have to hit the grindstone and keep on working to perform our craft and to do good in the world. And we can't, so we've uncovered in these different schools a lot of unsavory or what has been uncovered in the media, unsavory topics that were able to be covered because they were famous and moving quickly and produced famous people and blah, 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 blah. But if you are motivated by your values and what you want to change in the world, then you actually have to be honest and you have to work that out. And that grit may get you through a pandemic.
Yeah, beautifully put. Thank you so much, Kristen. That was just beautifully put. Anybody else have any thoughts on that topic? Oh, I see. Oh, yes, Brad, do you want to unmute yourself, Brad?
Sure. Hi. I'm an anthropologist who